Hello, konnichiwa. Channel o yokoso. Nihongo no tango o hayako betai nara. Zei saigo made mite kudasai. Imagine you have spent hours and hours learning Japanese words and now you are sitting down to watch anime without subtitle. Then among these episodes, you are struggling even to understand beyond a basic nani? Tutomate. If you ever had similar experiences of struggling to memorize and then actually use a new Japanese words and you are looking for the complete system to supercharge your vocab learning, I'll go over the system I found and it's suitable for everyone even if you are beginner. This will be combat from my own personal experience self-studying learning Japanese, tips and tricks from experts who have written about language learning theory, also evidence-based research in the field of memory and learning technique and technology. I will walk you through how to apply this practically and focus especially on technique beyond just the basic of spaced repetition. This video will consist of three main parts. Firstly, prioritization. Secondly, memorization. And thirdly, mobilization. And you generally need all three. Most people focus on memorization and wonder why they cannot speak. Knowing word and being able to use it are completely different things. Firstly, prioritization. Before learning a new language, ask yourself first, what's my goal learning this language? And what I'm going to focus on? In terms of vocabularies, it's okay to pick random one here and there a bit. Then you focus on vocabularies which related to your daily life which you frequently use. For example, the word roof tile is unlikely to be used as much as the word learn. We need to be more strategic to memorize the words we encounter. This also applies in all across languages, including Japanese. That's why we need to create vocab frequently lists in order to absorb the vocabularies quickly and be able to communicate clearly. We need to list out words from mostly used to least used, at least 1000 core words. To be more efficient, I narrow them down to be top words that I use from my personal experience. For example, I use those sort of words talking about my experience, my daily habits, and what my hobbies are. The prioritization list is very helpful for vocab frequency lists for language in general, combined with your relatable experience. Leverage them using Pareto rules, which is 20-80, allowing you to communicate more quickly. I use Kanshudo and AI to sort all of those verbs, so I don't need to do it manually. And the vocabs that are not related to you have no big impact for your learning skill because it will develop eventually. Secondly, memorization. Now that you have prioritized what you have to learn, it's time for memorization. You need to memorize it with a system, not a willpower. And I have found the lovely app of anything to solve this matter. It's not sponsored by the way, it's called Anki. Anki is software for actively learning and spaced repetition. The method is using flashcards since it's scientifically proven that flashcard is the game changer in terms of studying. Actively learning is strengthening our connection inside our brain. So for me, my Japanese Anki learning decks have a word on it. When I press the show or space button, then it provides the answer giving the details like meaning in Romaji, katakana, hiragana, or even kanji. If I have difficulty in memorizing it, I just press the hard button. Even if just slight hesitation in memorizing the flashcard, it will appear more often until I memorize it clearly, then press the good button. So why does this method work best? There's a scientific evidence behind this. The idea of spaced repetition is for combating the decay of memorization. Words that have been memorized will eventually decay in 24 hours exponentially unless you do active recall learning. We all have this thing. When we study something, not only in language subject, one day and the next day it feels like completely gone. Or next week we don't even remember to study in the first place. It's not because we are stupid, it's just how our brain works. Perhaps I should make video in full detail for using Anki for learning Japanese separately later. And the fascinating thing about kanji is it's like a puzzle. Sometimes I found the characters is the resemblance to a real life object. For example, the kanji of Yama, mountain, it's similar to mountain. Ame, rain, it looks like drops of rain falling inside a window. Or Eki, station. If you look closely at the right side, it looks like a train on a railway and platform for waiting room at the left side. Don't just memorize the strokes blindly, otherwise it feels like every character feels new to you. Just connect it to real life context. There is also radicals in kanji. If you break it down and recognize the pattern, you'll find the clue to connect the meaning. Radical is a hint for category in kanji. For example, the radicals of sanji, ase, umi, minato, arao. Can you guess what radical is about? It's related to water, so it's water radical. If you look closely, it looks like 3 dots of water, select emoji. Radicals doesn't always reflect the original meaning of kanji, but it's helpful to learn the kanji and to guess the meaning.
I can't understand all of the kanji, but it says something about a prophecy.
Comprehensible inputs means you consume Japanese content you mostly understand, like anime, podcasts, news, when the language is naturally used in context. Television, I guess television is not favorable by Gen Z. I've been big fans of anime for comprehensible input because they talk in entry above level for daily conversation, or whether news live on air in Japan, it gives me vibes as if I were there. One thing I use alongside Anki is Minna no Nihongo. Something like this. It's a book. And there are 4 versions. While Anki helps me to memorize isolated words, Minna no Nihongo gives those words a grammar structure to live inside. For instance, while the word eki, train station, in isolation is one thing, while saying it in sentence, eki wa doko desu ka? Where is the train station? Immediately shows you that how words functions in real Japanese. The word sticks better because it has context, not just a definition. Now you know what to learn. You have prioritized vocabularies and memorized them, combined with spaced repetition, active recall, and comprehensible input. We need to practice how to use those words. Learning language is not just about how many vocabularies you have memorized, it's more about how you apply it in real life situation and to use it for other people using a sentence in natural way to deliver your meaning. Here's the practical way how to put it into practice and learn how to speak with newly learned vocabs. For the next few days after learning words, try to use them in daily life. For example, when you look your daily surroundings, try to think the sentence in Japanese using your own vocabs. You can either say it out loud or thinking silently inside your mind, forming a sentence. For example, Watashi no neko ga watashi no beto ni suwaru. Watashi no neko ga watashi no beto ni suwaru. My cat sits on my bed. Try this method as much as you can even though you don't know all the words in a sentence. Sometimes I also stumbled when expressing in Japanese because I don't know what to say in a full sentence. I don't know what to express. But when I learned word hitori, in this room there is one person. And I just say, in this room, hitori imasu. So my brain absorbs the meaning of hitori as counting person and being able to pop in sentence. The next one, try to find the language partner to practice with. Either you join the conversation where you bring the topic you have just learned to the table and discuss it, or alternatively, I used to join where people learn Japanese and talk SJ. They also bring up the topic they have just learned and giving feedbacks to each other, asking whether the sentence is correct or not. They also make quiz. Perhaps it's better if you have personal friends or partners whose Japanese is fluent or native. But I guess it's privileged because not everyone has it. And how to find such person? There is a chance for you to find such people who have the same interest in learning Japanese, like HelloTalk platform. It's created purely for language educational purpose, so you can find the natives there. By the way, this is not sponsored by HelloTalk. I just say it based on my personal experience. Since I'm millennial, I use Facebook, and there's a group where people are learning Japanese language, and they are very active and engaging. You can search Japanese learning group N5, N4, N3, N2 and join there. Sometimes you will find funny posts and meme in Japanese, which is vibing the atmosphere. If you still can't find language partner yet, I guess AI is the answer. I use ChatGPT and Claude. Claude is my favorite one because it's marked. Type in Japanese, ask it to respond in Japanese and correct your mistakes. Obviously, it's available 24 hours and it's never judging you. If you like this video, I guess you may subscribe my channel since I talk a lot about learning Japanese, not only in Japanese but also in English. And I'm going to make lots of videos about learning Japanese in the future. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take care of yourself. Bye bye.